The police chief was shocked during a meeting. He discovered that the new officer had arrested their undercover agent, mistaking him for a drug dealer. The officer had even been reporting his every move. The chief asked the officer if he had investigated the man. When he heard that the officer was still looking into it, the chief became very anxious but had no way to explain. Only he knew the man was an undercover agent. Now, the mission was to get him back into the drug ring. Just then, an officer called from the vehicle search. The officer on the case picked up and reported to the chief that they found nothing. The chief gave a direct order: release the man immediately. But the officer acted like he did not hear the command. He openly defied the chief and asked the undercover agent where he had hidden the drugs. Another officer saw the chief was furious and told the man to hand over the keys. He gave the keys, and the other officer unlocked the handcuffs and escorted the undercover agent out of the station. The officer could not understand the chief's decision. He even started to suspect the chief of protecting a criminal, but he had no idea the undercover agent had slowly gained the drug ring's trust. To test his loyalty, the gang told him to drive a shipment across the border and back into the country. They installed phone surveillance. He was not allowed to stop or speak to anyone. After giving the order, they took his phone away. He could only use the monitored phone to report back after the job was done. Without his phone, he could not contact the chief. He was almost on the edge of a breakdown. Soon, he drove the truck to the border checkpoint. He handed the shipping papers to the inspector. Nearby, the same officer who had arrested him was watching and called the chief. He asked for permission to inspect the truck, suspecting it was carrying drugs. The chief contacted the director. The director said the truck had already left the border and they could not confirm what was inside. The agent had not passed along any updates. They guessed it was part of the gang's test and decided to wait and watch. But the officer followed the truck to the highway entrance. He worried the truck would cross into the country carrying drugs. He again requested to stop and search it, saying if they waited any longer, it would be too late. The chief repeated his order: let the truck go and come back now. But the officer hung up the phone. He stepped on the gas and chased the truck. The drug dealers saw everything. The officer drove straight toward the truck. He locked eyes with the undercover agent. Then he failed to avoid a roadblock and crashed. He swerved in front of the truck, forcing it to stop. The undercover agent cursed him in anger. This reckless action might have ruined the entire operation. Sure enough, the drug dealers became suspicious. How could an accident happen at that exact moment?